I could use a hand.
I'm rather curious to see what stratagem we'll devise to capture the fortress. You know Fort Mercius's nickname, I assume, the stubborn old general? But there must be one or two gaps in its defenses.
Hello.
Wow. I hardly recognize everyone. Their faces have changed so much. More experience in the eyes, and more pain. I'm glad that they're stronger, but I hate to think they've all become hardened killers. Look after them, okay? Try to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Doesn't matter how sturdy to keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything. That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
Oh, Professor.
Hey. After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. But we only stood a chance because we drove the Empire from the Great Bridge of Myrden. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Professor!
Hello.
I only know what little I overheard. But what I did hear implied that the Empire was involved in the tragedy of Duscur. If it's true, that may explain why His Highness chose to fight the Empire. Perhaps I should have fought alongside His Highness. No, not anymore. I am where I belong. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But when I think of all those who died at Gronder, I realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
Professor?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
Hello there. This one, yes? I thank you. Return soon, please.
The fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
Professor!
I think. You're quite a tactician, disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. In a frontal attack, our losses would be tremendous. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit. Yes, with you leading our fighters, I've no doubt the Empire will suffer an embarrassing deceit. Get it? Deceit again?
Right.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard? I knew you'd think so. I knew you... Ow! Oh, ow. Can't believe I tried to hug you through the door.
A moment, please.
I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much, but I wanted to help the church out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
I've heard the dues passed on, just like His Highness. That's true. I did hear that his body was never found. If somehow he's still alive, I hope we'll meet again.
Professor, I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising. Yes, hunting is doing surprise attacks on prey. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries.
You know when you work your muscles and they start screaming? That means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. And let them rest when they're tired. Of course! If my muscles hurt, then I hurt. If they're hungry, well then I'm hungry too. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
Professor, standing face to face with those whom I went to school with. On the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
Well, the
According to information we've received from the Eastern Church, the Alliance territories seem to be experiencing intense upheaval. Their leaders' well-being is still unclear, and the Lords are all questioning each other's intentions. It seems like a difficult time to ask the Alliance for assistance.
Hey! Under your leadership, we can win any battle, no matter the odds. That's what everyone's saying, anyway. Hope you can keep up with our expectations, Professor.
Not possible. Professor, they tell me my father died at Gronder. Was that really a fitting end for one such as him? I don't know. I just don't know.
Teacher. Dimitri, the late Prince of Fargus. He despised the Empire with all his heart. He should not have tried leading an army while his emotions were holding him captive. True enough, but I suspect the reason he died is that he could not keep his emotions in check. I see. You are saying you met with Dimitri, but you could not tell if it was reality or a dream. I wonder what that could mean.
Thanks. I'm glad I asked you.
Professor!
So, you know, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date. First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move. I knew you'd get it, Professor. Anyway, you know more about tactics than me, so I don't know why I'm offering you advice.
Okay.
Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, all the house leaders from way back when, assembled again at Gronder. I wonder what their thoughts were as they headed out to the battlefield.
It hasn't sunk in yet. They slaughtered the boar. I can hardly believe it. I thought he was alive all this time. He must have really hated Edelgard to lead such an ill-advised assault. No point in feeling sorry for the poor scoundrel now.
Fort Mercius is old and strong. Its reputation for durability is equal to that of Aryan Road. Are you certain your plan is sufficient? It seems to be a little simplistic. That's not terrifically reassuring. Shouldn't you have more faith in your own plans? Incidentally, have you heard any news of Claude? I, for one, have a hard time believing he is dead. He was always a clever and tenacious sort.
dirty my hands if I must. I'll dirty my hands if I must. I'll dirty my hands if I must. Ignorance is deadly. Ignorance is deadly.
Professor? Fort Mercius is next, huh? Ah, the memories. It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain. The town's completely surrounded by high walls. I used to run around there when I was a kid. Way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
Professor, if Claude somehow survived, I imagine he's terribly wounded. All three forces have suffered heavy losses. We're incredibly lucky to have not been involved. This is a perfect and unique opportunity to go on the offense. Now is the time to prove ourselves, Professor.
Oh, Goddess, hear my prayer. Please bless the deceased with peace everlasting, and may his soul rest in tranquility. You know, I used to see him praying quite often when I would come to the cathedral at night. I wonder who it was he prayed for back then.
I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore.
But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros. I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
Right. Professor, I heard that a staggering number of people lost their lives in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
It sounds like the battle at Gronder Field was pretty gruesome. We don't know for certain whether Claude's alive or dead. Maybe he's all right. I wish I could make sure somehow. But it doesn't seem possible now.
see. Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kinda useful at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Hey, you.
Did you give the ridiculous order to prepare Imperial armor for every one of our troops?
I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough.
I like this idea of yours, dressing as Imperial soldiers so they'll let us in. But don't you wish there was one more twist in the plan? Come on, Professor, think. How could we add another wrinkle, Settis dressed as a woman? I don't understand what the point of that would be. On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived. That seems safer.
I see. I've heard that Gilbert, who used to serve in the Knights of Seros, fell at Gronder. Apparently he was originally a knight of the kingdom, and now he shared Prince Dimitri's fate. Gilbert was an exceptional knight. It's an unspeakable shame.
Really?
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius? Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that. Seems Fodlans give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
The battle at Gronder Field certainly took an unexpected turn, did it not? Let us press on, so as not to waste the opportunity. Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the Imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. I will make the necessary preparations. Be ready. I have something to ask of you. Well done. You have my thanks.
Need something? See you again soon.
This is my absolute favorite. How did you know, Professor?
Oh, my favorite food. You've got to try this.
Ah, meals always taste best when it is a company of 3 or more at the table.
Do you not enjoy eating when it's just the two of us? You wound me, Flame.
Eating delicious food really takes my worries away.
I like seeing a table full of my favorite dishes.
This is so good. Can I have seconds?
It's kinda nice to break bread with you. Got any interesting stories to tell while we eat?
I realized it after I got to the monastery. Nobody in Fargus knows how to cook.
Somehow, everything tastes better with company.
My cooking is so good, it's been called seductive. Should I show you what I can do, Professor? Right. I do so enjoy cutting up vegetables in preparation to cook. So I'll do that and leave you with the cleanup. Oh.
Surprise it.
Hello there.
I hardly...
I hate to hesitate.
Each step closer to...
feeling pretty good about this. Yeah, I'm getting it.
I've learned a thing or two from battle.
Of course. What now?
This... I must always improve. This... This...
Of course.
Professor, I've something I'd like to ask you. I see. That's how it is.
Professor.
I will not yield! Yeah! It's been a while since I had such a close call. If not for you, Professor, I wouldn't have made it. I didn't expect to be ambushed on a simple scouting mission. Yes, my objective was to gauge the enemy's strength. I'd say I was successful. I have to ask, Professor, what brought you here? So you came to protect me. I'm beginning to understand why your allies love you. These are selfish times. One doesn't expect to encounter selflessness. You're kind. In that respect, I'd say you're much like Lady Rhea. Of course. It's thanks to her kindness that I'm here today. I was an outlaw in Fargus. She took me in and let me live here. Didn't I tell you? I was born into House Karen in Fargus. They used to call me Thunderstrike Cassandra. I was implicated in a plot to kill the king. It was a totally false accusation, of course. I had to flee the kingdom, and the Archbishop took me in. I used to be a student at the academy, so I knew I'd be safe here. Lady Rhea saved me once when I was a student, you know. We were tasked with battling monsters, but we were ambushed. I almost died. Lady Rhea took care of me. She didn't mind getting dirty. She took my muddied, bloodied body into her arms. Since then, Lady Rhea has been my inspiration. I will always serve her, protect her, love her. For some reason, when I think about Lady Rhea, your face comes to mind. You've become an important presence in my life. I wasn't expecting you to have a positive response. I'm not thrilled about it personally. I am still going to keep my eye on you. Not so I can report to Lady Rhea, though. Just because I want to.
Thank you.
With you on my side, we ought to do real good.
Any excuse to spend time with you. Look, Professor, not too shabby, right?
I'm just not there yet.
I'm really getting it.
This is making sense.
I am getting to the heart of it.
I think I've got the idea.
I'll make good use of this power.
I passed thanks to you, Professor.
Oh, what a relief!
I must continue to work hard.